Thank you for joining us for today's presentation. My name is Clementina Macias, and I'm the director for our college support programs. Today, we are presenting an informational panel session to give you a preview of our programs and give you an opportunity to ask questions. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom control panel. You should be able to see the Q&A feature on the bottom. I'll bring them up after the presentation for our questions and answer portion. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with introductions from our panelists.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sara Sanchez. I'm the Associate Director for the College Assistance Migrant Program.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Ms. Sanchez Toran, and I'm the Associate Director for EOP and Guardian Scholars.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kirsty Lane, and I am the Associate Director of our TRIO Student Support Services programs.
And it seems like we're having some technical difficulties with our other panelist, Maria Lopez Cabrera, who will be joining us. She is our resource specialist for our DocuSuccess support program. So we'll be hearing from her shortly. So for your agenda, you're gonna get to hear and meet and learn about our support programs. We do have our College Assistant Migrant Program, our EOP program, our Guardian Scholars Program, and our Student Support Services programs, and our DocuSuccess program. We will, again, have time for questions and answers at the end. So our college support programs are programs here at Cal State Monterey Bay that offer support services to students from underrepresented backgrounds. All our services are free. And students have to apply and meet different eligibility requirements depending on the program, which you'll hear about during the session. Our goal is to ensure that our students transition into CSUMB and that they are successful and either graduate college, graduate school ready or career ready.
Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and start with the College Assistance Migrant Program. So we are a federally funded student service program. Our main goal is to support first-generation college students who come from a seasonal or migrant farm working background. So we do have some specific criteria that we'll get into in just a moment. CAMP helps students with the transition. Can we go back to that slide, Shelby? I'm sorry. I took a little pause there. But on that previous slide, CAMP, we just wanted to reiterate that CAMP does help students with the transition from high school to college and through to the end of their first year at CSUMB. We have two primary goals. The first is that students who are admitted to our program, our primary goal is that they will complete the first 24 units, their first 24 units of college, their college experience at CSUMB. So we calculate that to be that 24 units, typically 12 units in fall semester, and then another 12 units in spring. That's very similar to probably the full-time amount of classes that you're used to for any high school students joining us today. Our second goal is of those students who complete those 24 units in their first year at CSUMB, those students will continue into their second year at full-time status in good academic standing. And with that, the hope is that that trajectory will persist through to graduation. So some of our services, CAMP focuses on 3 areas of support. So we provide academic support, financial support, and supplemental support. So this is just a few bullet points of some of the services that we do offer within those 3 areas. So we do have advising and one-on-one peer mentoring. We do have staff dedicated to meet specifically with CAMP students. And we provide what we like to call holistic support services. So a lot of times this may include reviewing, building a class schedule, or sometimes just having some personal counseling and personal mentoring, depending on where you are and how you're feeling in your semester. One of the benefits of CAMP is that we cohort classes for your fall semester, your first semester at CSUMB. So what that means is we will actually schedule you into 3 of your around 4 classes that a student would typically take. Those classes include your required area A2. It's an HCOM 120 class. If maybe equate that to like an English class, your area B4, which is your math requirement, and then your first year seminar requirement at CSUMB. So we have that as our FYS. Our FYS 146 class, which also fulfills your ethnic studies requirement at CSUMB. So we want to be very strategic about the services that we're offering you. And then we have some other services, including a CAMP grant, in the amount of $600. This is on top of any financial aid that you might already be eligible for, and various workshops and events that will hopefully expose you to different cultural, socio-cultural experiences. So for our CAMP eligibility, in order to be eligible for CAMP, again, because we are a first-year program, we work with students in their first year, we are primarily doing outreach for high school seniors. So high school students, definitely be thinking about where you are within our eligibility. So definitely must be A through G eligible and meet CSUMB admissions eligibility criteria. Because we are a federally funded program, our students must be U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents. And because we have such a specified eligibility for seasonal migrant work, a student must show that they do in fact have that eligibility. That's where it can get a little bit hairy, I think, for some students. So there are a few ways that a student can qualify. So if you know that you are currently in the migrant education program at your high school, then you already meet that criteria. If you were ever formally in the migrant education program, maybe in kindergarten, elementary school, or maybe freshman year, you would still qualify. So you don't need to be current. It could be a former status. If you're not sure, you think you might meet that criteria, let us know. We will help you make that determination. The other way that a student could qualify and meet this particular criteria is if you yourself, a parent or guardian, or an immediate family member currently works in seasonal migrant agricultural work for a minimum of 75 days within the last 2 years. So that's a little bit of a mouthful, might be confusing. What I want you to take away from that is if you think you might meet that criteria, let us know, connect with us, and we'll do the work to make sure that we find that out. You must be a first-generation student. You must show academic, financial, and supportive service need, and be a full-time first-year student in college. Next slide, please. Awesome. So with that said, if that sounds like it could be you, or maybe you know a friend who might meet that criteria, please consider applying for CAMP. We are currently accepting applications. We're accepting online applications only. And so if you go onto our CAMP website on the CSUMB website, you can apply online. And then we do have recruiters. So because we are able to conduct outreach, we would actually reach out to you as soon as you completed your application. So we work with you as you complete your senior year to assist with that transition, and hopefully just show you all the ways that CAMP and CSUMB could be a really great fit for you. So if you have any questions, here's our contact information. I've included our advisor and recruiter's contact information, Carmen Ramirez and Bianca Salinas. This is our general camp email. Feel free to take a screenshot or write that down quickly. Any questions about camp, please feel free to contact us. We're here to support you, and we're ready to work with you, and hopefully see you at CSUMB. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. So I'd like to start off with a little history about EOP. So in April, actually, of 1969, the California legislature passed Senate Bill 1072, which is known as a Hammer Bill, which established EOP at California higher ed institutions. 50 years later, the EOP program is going strong with access provided to first generation, low income, and historically underserved students. So who can apply to EOP? EOP is for historically low income and educationally disadvantaged undergraduate students who need admission assistance and support services to succeed in college, students who demonstrate academic potential and motivation, and EOP is for California residents and students who qualify for AB 540 non-resident tuition exemption. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the program services that are offered through EOP are advising. So as an EOP student, students will have a designated EOP advisor who will meet with them individually for any assistance and support they may need throughout their academic journey at CSUMB. Students can easily make appointments with their advisors who will be very familiar with the university's goals and the objectives. We also have one-on-one peer mentoring. So EOP has a supportive environment of student peer mentors who meet the students regularly and offer their assistance, support, and advice, as these peer mentors are also EOP students and CSUMB students. We have very different enrichment programs throughout the semesters that include educational and cultural activities. Skill development workshops such as resume writing, writing letters for scholarships for grad school, among many others. Grant aid for eligible students, which is contingent on funding. We do have computer lab access. So this is a designated computer lab for EOP and other college support program students. Financial aid follow-up. So EOP and the financial aid department partner in offering FAFSA completion and any other services on the student's financial aid. One big and important component of EOP is our summer bridge and freshman year experience. So incoming first-time freshmen take part in the summer bridge program, which is a 4-week transition program for our admitted first-time freshmen. The program is designed to help students acquire the skills and the knowledge necessary to build a bridge from high school to a successful college experience. Summer Bridge, students take a college credit course, participate in various workshops, presentations, and activities, and they also receive advisement and register for fall classes. Students also receive tutoring and mentoring and build community relationships among the students in the CSUMB community. Summer Bridge has been a residential 4-week program in the past. This year, due to the shelter-in-place order, Summer Bridge was offered in a virtual modality. For transfer students, we have Transfer Bridge. So the EOP Transfer Bridge is intended to facilitate incoming EOP transfer students from the community college to a 4-year university setting. CSUMB Transfer Bridge will provide a unique experience for new incoming transfer students to better understand their participation in EOP, the university as a whole, and begin engaging in career and post-graduation goals. Transfer Bridge is a 1-day residential program. Virtually this year, it was a half a day. So how to apply to EOP? So students are to complete the CSU application for Cal State Monterey Bay by applying through Cal State Apply. Be sure to check the yes in the EOP section, asking if you wish to apply to EOP, and complete all the necessary supplemental information. After submitting the CSUMB application, the CSUMB admissions application, students will be directed to a link to complete the EOP application online. Students will be asked to provide the names and email addresses of 2 teachers or counselors or someone who can recommend the student for EOP. The recommenders will be sent the recommendation questions via email and can submit their answers online. If you wish to get in contact with EOP, please contact us via email at eop@csumb.edu, and our admission advisor will get back to you. All this contact information and all information in regards to EOP is on our website, so feel free to check it out. And again, any questions, feel free to email us. Under the EOP umbrella, we also have the Guardian Scholars Program. So the Guardian Scholars Program at CSUMB supports current and former foster youth by providing a support network that promotes academic success, personal development, and connecting students with mentors, campus, and community resources to become academically successful. Along with the mentoring program, Guardian Scholars offers excellent opportunities and services for students such as priority registration, personal care pantry, computer lab with free printing, faculty staff mentoring program, skill building workshops, cultural activities, our laptop loan program. Students also meet regularly with the Guardian Scholars Retention Advisor, and also provide a community of belonging and opportunities to build relationships with other students in the Guardian Scholars Program. The eligibility for the Guardian Scholars Program is any student who meets the following criteria. So a current or former foster youth, unaccompanied homeless youth, adopted, orphan, ward of the court, kinship care or guardianship care, and homelessness. The Guardian Scholars application is available online on the CSUMB Guardian Scholars website at csumb.edu/Guardian Scholars. Please note that the application for Guardian Scholars is different from the Cal State Apply application. So this is something separate. It's a separate application that students will need to fill out. Along with the Guardian Scholars application, students must also submit eligibility verification and letters of recommendation. Students will be contacted for an interview by the Guardian Scholars Advisor when the completed application is submitted. For further information or to get in touch with our Guardian Scholars Program, please reach out to Kiana Ritchie, who is our advisor. Her email and her phone number are here. You may also go to the Guardian Scholars website on the CSUMB and check out our Guardian Scholars Program and all we have to offer. And if you wish to also download the app or apply for the program, you may do so there.
All right, so up next, I'm going to share some information about both of our TRIO student support services programs that we have at Cal State Monterey Bay. Our SSS programs have some similarities with the programs that you've already heard from today, but we also have some key differences. So I'm going to try to highlight those as we go through this information. So this first slide here has the mission statement of our SSS programs. So our mission is to contribute to the success of our first generation low-income students and students with disabilities by supporting and empowering our participants in their academic, personal, and professional growth. So the reason I started with that is because we really like to highlight that our program is meant to be wraparound, really comprehensive services. We want our students to do well academically, but we know that in college, a lot of the challenges and obstacles you're facing aren't necessarily academic. So we always like to emphasize that we're like a really holistic support program. So what is TRIO? So we are also a federally funded program like CAMP. We're funded through the US Department of Education. The SSS programs were started over 50 years ago in 1968. They actually grew out of the civil rights movement. And today there's over 1,000 SSS programs around the country. So something I always like to emphasize, we hope you'll come to CSUMB and come be in our programs. But if you're not, if you go to another institution, check it out and see if they have some TRIO programs, because these programs are all around the country at lots of different schools. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check it out at other schools too. So the eligibility for our program, students have to be either first generation or low income or a student with a disability. So if you hit any one of those criteria, you are eligible for our SSS programs. That being said, about 75% of the students in our programs are both first generation and low income. So that is the primary student population that we're serving. The goals of our program, we want to increase our students' academic standing, so making sure our students are getting good grades, retention, making sure folks are staying in school, and then graduation rates as well. Obviously, we want to see y'all graduate if you're in our programs. So again, just emphasizing that we are a support and retention program and that we offer those really holistic support services. So some of the specific services that we offer through our programs, our big one is advising and peer mentors. So all the students in our program are paired one-on-one with either a professional staff advisor or a peer mentor. And that's to help you build that relationship, that one-on-one connection, to be able to ask questions, ask for advice, just to vent sometimes. We also offer academic support and resources. So that might be additional tutoring or academic skills workshops. Financial support, so assistance with finding and applying for scholarships, financial literacy, money management skills, cultural enrichment events. So we've got a photo here on this slide of some of our students kayaking a couple of years ago. We like to get out in the local area, go hiking, to museums, to theater events. Obviously in the virtual space that looks different, but we're still doing some really cool stuff. Just this last week, we had an American Sign Language workshop that was a lot of fun. So we're still trying to make sure that there's just really cool opportunities for our students to engage. We do also offer a summer academy orientation. So it's about a week long right before the fall semester begins for new incoming students, to make sure that you get familiar with campus resources, that you're meeting people, and just feeling prepared to begin your journey as a college student. Graduate school exploration. So if that's something that's kind of in your goals, we like to go tour graduate schools when that's available, but also do lots of workshops and assistance with that. And then professional development and career exploration as well. So whatever your path might be after CSUMB, we want to make sure that you feel like you have the tools and are prepared for that next step as well. So like I said at the beginning, we do actually have 2 SSS programs at Cal State Monterey Bay. We have our SSS Classic program that serves students in any major, but we also have a STEM Health Sciences program that serves students specifically in these majors. So some of the ones we have here at Monterey include biology, marine science, computer science, communication design, environmental science and environmental studies, kinesiology, math, and statistics. And we also have the new agricultural plant and soil science major, which would fall under our STEM Health Sciences program as well. So students in SSS STEM HS get all those same great services, but we also want to provide some additional support in maybe finding undergraduate research opportunities within these majors. Again, career exploration, that academic support and your academic identity. So like as a scientist and as a STEM scholar, trying to help you develop that sense. Faculty connections, conference attendance. In about 2 weeks, one of our advisors is going to take students to a diversity in STEM conference, virtual, of course, and also graduate school as well. So just acknowledging that sometimes these STEM and health sciences majors can be a little challenging and have some different pathways, and being able to provide that additional support for those students as well. So all of this is to say that TRIO works. That's our motto, TRIO works. So a little bit of info about our students. As of spring 2020, our graduation rates for students who came in as first-time freshmen, we had an 82% 6-year graduation rate and a 52% 4-year graduation rate. For transfer students, 70% of our transfer students in this same year graduated within 2 years. And over the last 5 years, about 96% of our students have been in good academic standing. So our students are doing great. Our students are really, really succeeding during their time at CSUMB. And I have a quote here from one of our students too, just saying, you know, being a first generation college student is difficult. And coming into TRIO, I value the support and family I have found starting this new adventure in my life. We really like to emphasize this concept of family, being a second family, a family away from home. We have, you know, if you go on our Instagram page, you'll see the hashtag TrioFam on everything. So we really emphasize that sense of community and that sense of belonging for our students. And then lastly, here is some information about how to contact us and how to apply for our programs. So our application is all online. It's at csumb.edu/trio. And we do accept applications on a rolling basis. So we don't have a hard deadline for our applications. You can apply at any time. And I also want to emphasize that you can apply at any level. So incoming freshmen, incoming transfer students, continuing students, you can apply to TRIO at any point. But if you are coming in the spring, I don't know if anyone is a student who's going to be starting in the spring, but our priority deadline is going to be January 4th to make sure that we're able to review your application and get in touch with you before that new semester starts. Also have our contact info here. The best way to reach us right now, since we're working from home, is through email. So you can see our SSS email there. And we also, you know, if you want to see a little bit more about like daily life in our program, we do use our Instagram account quite a bit. So if you're interested in seeing more about like student stories and the types of things we're doing, you can check that out. We are also going to be out at the resource fair this afternoon from 2 to 4. So if you want to connect with us individually and ask any questions or just stop by and say hi, myself and one of our advisors will be out there. So we definitely hope to see some of you this afternoon as well.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm just making sure that, can y'all hear me? Because I'm cool. All right, perfect. So my name is Maria Lopez. I am the Undocu Success Resource Specialist as part of the college support programs. And so I wanted to start off with our mission. And so our mission is to empower scholars who are undocumented in their educational pursuits and foster a supportive campus community dedicated to achieving their educational and personal goals. We address the needs of undocumented students, members of mixed status families, allies, campus faculty and staff by providing services and resources. And so we are really a support to our campus community and to those who might have questions or need resources, right? So some of our services and resources include, but of course are not limited to, policy and legislative updates, referrals to counseling services, counseling resources, referrals to financial and academic resources, legal services and referrals, ally and policy literacy trainings, scholarship references, programs and services addressing specific needs of undocumented students or those of mixed status families. So we understand that even though someone or a student might not be personally affected by policies changing or anything of that sort, we understand that, you know, family members or friends, I usually connect with students from, you know, even professors. So like I said, these are some of the things that we've worked with, but it all, of course, depends on individual students that might need different support. Can we go to the next one, Shelby? Thank you. And so I wanted to talk about some of the services and programming that we have for students. So one of the really amazing resources that we have at CSUMB is we have free legal services. So if you or a family member or staff faculty have any sort of questions or are in any sort of situation that they might need legal support in terms of immigration, we do have immigration attorneys from the Immigrant Legal Defense. And so I included their logo here, and they support us throughout. We have consultations and you can set up appointments, and they're very accessible. And so if there's the date there that doesn't work for you, they will work around your schedule. So that is one of the amazing support systems that we have. We did start Zoom drop-in hours for one-on-one appointments. And so those are all listed in our website. So if there's any questions or any sort of, situations, or whether it's the DREAM Act application or questions about DACA, I am available during those drop-in hours. Then we have also, I support through the application for the California DREAM Act. So for those that are unaware, since FAFSA is a federal, it's federal aid, undocumented students are not eligible for federal aid. And so the California DREAM Act exists for that reason. And so I support through the initial application process or the renewal process. Scholarship referrals and application assistance. So as some of you might be aware, a lot of scholarships are really restrictive in terms of U.S. citizenship status or legal permanent resident status. And so myself and my team make sure to find out scholarship opportunities that are available for undocumented or DACA-mented students. We also have referrals to our mental health services. So we keep a close connection to our personal growth and counseling center, and even branch out, especially now during this time, if there is any local support for folks. We do have, we will connect you through our program to mental health support. And we also, I keep a close contact with the student organization on our campus, so the Undocuwaters and Allies, and I also included their logo if you ever find them either through social media or through our website or events that they might be hosting. They are really amazing group of students who advocate for support on our campus. We also host Undocu Ally trainings, and we have a list of those staff and faculty members who have been trained, and we keep all of that on our website so that students who might see that might feel comfortable enough to address barriers that they might be facing with either professors or professional staff like counselors or academic advisors. We also host cultural enrichment events. So something we're planning is our Immigrant Advocacy Week. This year, it'll start next week, and that is listed also on our website. And so we host different sessions and workshops and invite speakers to really provide an experience for students and to empower students in different ways. And we now, in a virtual sense, but before, we do provide professional development opportunities, going to conferences or attending different speaking opportunities throughout California. Graduate school exploration, we do a graduate tour every year, and we have since the beginning of this program back in 2017. 2018 is when we did our first graduate school tour. And we do have also a monthly newsletter. So that is also included in our website. And if you all want to check out our archive, it is listed on our website. So thank you. And this is some of the ways that you can connect with us. Our website, if you just look up csumb.edu and in the search bar, you look up Undocu, we will be the first link. You can email the program directly at undocusuccess@csumb.edu or myself at mlopezcabrera@csumb.edu. And of course, we list all of our events, all of everything that's going on through our Instagram, and you can find us at UndocuSuccess. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me directly. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you, everyone. Thank you to all our presenters. We do have time for questions. I know that we've presented a lot of information, and I know in the beginning I said go ahead and type it into the Q&A box or chat it to us. I don't know what feature you have, so if you want to go ahead and chat us any questions, and we will go ahead and address them. I do want to also emphasize that all our amazing programs would love to admit everyone and anyone that meets our eligibility criteria, but unfortunately, due to budgetary restrictions, our programs can only admit a certain amount of students. So I do want to encourage all of you to take advantage and look over the application requirements, the deadlines. They are very important, just like getting your CSUMB application completed on Cal State Apply. As a CSUMB alumni, I am a proud Otter. So I hope that you will go ahead and apply to CSUMB and our program. So type in any questions. I see that we do have a question in regards to our transfer bridge program for spring transfer. So I'll go ahead and pass that over to you, Aimee.
Sure. So for spring 21 and beyond, EOP is not admitting transfer students. So transfer students will only be admitted for the fall semester.
Can I just add on to that really fast? So TRIO will be admitting transfer students for the spring, and we will have a transfer orientation program as well. It's going to be really short, but I just do want to offer that there is something out there for transfer students for the spring.
Awesome. Thank you both. Another question for class settings, what is a student professor ratio? So I'll open that up to anyone who would like to answer that. So student to professor ratio here at CSUMB. Well, I'll go ahead and answer it, isn't it? So, and we do offer small classroom sizes. CSUMB is a smaller campus, as opposed to some of our sister campuses. I think the last time I looked at our ratio, we were at one professor for about 25 to 30 students. So obviously we do have some labs and some capacities where it's larger. However, due to the current COVID situation, we do have virtual classes currently happening for this semester. Looking over questions, so go ahead and type them into the Q&A. Here we have a question for EOP. The question reads, for EOP, where can I find if I'm accepted in the program? I applied in August. So that's one student asking that question. And then there's a question for a TRIO program and asking where can they submit their TRIO program application. So first, let's go ahead and address the application for if a student applied to EOP in August. Aimee.
So are we talking about August for last year? Because if we're referring to last August from 19, those students have been admitted. So we already have our first-time freshman cohort. Now moving forward, any student who, for instance, applies for this fall open application period, all the communication with the applicants is through, of course, right now, email, because we're virtually and we're working from home. But our admissions advisor is the person who contacts all the students in regards to their EOP application, or if anything is missing, or if there's any question in regard to the student's application.
Thank you, Aimee. So Kirsty, in regards to where students can apply for TRIO.
Yes, so our application is all online. It's on our website. If you go to csumb.edu/trio, or if you're just on the CSUMB webpage and you type in TRIO, you'll be able to see our website pop up. And there's a big green button on there that says apply now. And so you can go ahead and click that and it's going to take you into the application website. All the instructions are on there, but we also have all of our contact information on there. So if you open up the application, you have a lot of questions, please feel free to reach out to us. But I want to just re-emphasize something. We did mention this, but so for EOP, you do have to apply when you're coming into the institution, right? So you apply to EOP when you apply to CSUMB. You can apply for TRIO at any point. So if you miss the EOP application, or if you get denied to EOP, sad, you can come and check out TRIO and see if that's going to be a good support program for you as well. So just want to re-emphasize that too.
Thank you. And then there's a question in regards to a student being in a DSPS program in their current college. Does CSUMB offer something similar for disability resources? Yes, we do. Kirsty, do you want to add on to, what types of resources we have?
Sure, yeah. So we do have our Student Disability Resources Office here at SDR, and they can work with you a lot on setting up various accommodations and just making sure you have that support on campus. They're definitely the first point of contact for anyone looking for anything to do with disability support. But TRIO does also have documented disability as one of our eligibility criteria. So we don't work with accommodations or anything like that, but we do try to offer additional support, and that can be in terms of like connecting with faculty, connecting with peers and things like that. So we do have some additional support in that area as well.
Awesome, thank you. There's a question in regards to, can students be involved in multiple programs at the same time? Sara, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, no problem. That's a great question. Unfortunately, at CSUMB, you cannot be in multiple programs at the same time. So that brings up the point of really thinking about what program would be most beneficial for you. There's another question that kind of speaks to that. The previous question is, if a student can be allowed into EOP, is there more help with that program? Maybe, so my thought with that is maybe somebody's thinking, well, I might be eligible for Camp EOP and TRIO. Which one do I apply for? So since you can only apply and be admitted to one program, we really want to support you. So it really would be in your best interest to really do the research, connect with each program. We're happy to help you and give you the information. But you really want to review the services that each program provides and see, what is going to be a better fit for you. And we all work together. We're happy to support your decision. We'll be a little sad for just a moment that you won't be in our program, but at the end of it, we really want you to be supported and feel like you have found a good fit. So I hope that answers your question.
I do want to add that for dual enrollment for EOP and Guardian Scholars, the student can be in both programs.
Yes, that is correct. So for students who apply for EOP and also meet Guardian Scholar eligibility criteria, yes, you can be in both. There's a question in regards to who can apply for EOP and where do you apply for EOP, Aime?
Sure. So for EOP, it is a point of entry program. So you do need to apply when you complete your CSUMB admissions application. And there is a separate EOP application to complete. So just make sure to check yes for EOP and then also complete the EOP application. So again, everything to apply to EOP, you would apply through Cal State Apply when you apply to CSUMB.
Thank you. There's a question in regards to, do the programs help with homework?
I can start with that one. I would just say, we have a really great tutoring center here on campus. So I just want to give them a plug. I know they're going to be out this afternoon as well at the resource fair. It's the Cooperative Learning Center, the CLC. So since they're so great at tutoring, like I don't think any of us are trying to do a ton of tutoring within our own programs, but I know for us, we do definitely help with homework. Sometimes that can be like connecting with a peer mentor to understand like strategies for classes. We'll help students read over papers and stuff like that. So I think all of us do provide some additional support in that area too.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on that. For camp, we do work closely with our CLC, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that we cohort classes. So we identify certain classes and enroll camp students into those classes, which means the faculty, the professor knows that you are a camper. And oftentimes we will also enroll you into the support class. So the class with the CLC tutor. Each program really has their own specific way of tackling those services. So again, check all the programs out, connect with all of us so that you can make the best decision for yourself.
Thank you. There's a question in regards to is EOP accepting Spring 21 transfer applications?
No, so EOP will not be accepting Spring 21 transfers. For transfer students moving forward, they may only apply for the fall semesters.
Thank you. A question for EOP, can a student who was admitted during the fall semester apply for spring?
Unfortunately not. So if the student could only apply for the fall now moving forward. So for first time freshmen, we only accept them in the fall, and then for transfers, it's only in the fall.
And we have a question for TRIO. Does TRIO work with students to prepare them for grad school or connecting students with internships to the local community?
Yes, both of the above. So for grad school, we, in the virtual semester, we've had to keep our services online, of course. So we're doing like a workshop series this semester, which has actually been really cool. We also brought some alumni back who have either started grad school or graduated so they could share their experiences and kind of provide that motivation. As soon as we get to go back in person, we'll go back to our graduate school tours as well. So we've gone to some really cool places. We went to Boston and Chicago and Denver and Seattle to go tour graduate institutions and kind of see what that would be like. As far as internships, yes, absolutely. We do a lot of that professional development work as well. So some majors here at CSUMB have a big internship component. So for example, collaborative health and human services, if you want an internship with them, they are going to set you up and you're going to have that opportunity. Some majors don't necessarily have that built in as much. So we will work with students to make connections in terms of finding those opportunities and then successfully applying for them. So that tends to be more of like a one-on-one service because it's going to look a little different for most students, but we do a lot of that.
Thank you. There's a clarifying question. So if a student wants to be involved with both Guardian Scholars and EOP, would the student have to complete the EOP application on Cal State Apply and the Guardian Scholars application on the website?
Correct. So if a student meets the eligibility for Guardian Scholars and they also want to apply for EOP, yes, the EOP application, it's through Cal State Apply. And then for Guardian Scholars, the application is in our Guardian Scholars website.
Any more questions? You can type them into the chat or into the question and answer box. Is there any last minute info that our presenters would like to share or highlight?
I'd like to just say that the DocuSuccess support is an open resource. And since EOP is the only program that undocumented students can take advantage of, I am still available to EOP students and also the wider campus community. And so there's no application or there's nothing like that in order to connect with me or to work together. So I just wanted to point that out.
Great, thank you, Maria. Sarah?
Yeah, just a final reminder, we're going to have staff available in the resource fair. Incoming freshmen, high school students, if camp sounds like it could be as a support system for you, we would love to see if you have more questions about it. Please drop in on that link. And then I just wanted to clarify, we had a question about providing a brief overview of one of the programs, but I know we're short on time. This presentation, I believe, will be made available to students. Is that accurate, Clementina?
Yes, that is accurate, Sara. But in addition to that, all the programs will be participating in this afternoon's resource fair. So if you want that one-on-one, just because, again, I know that we're limited in time, but we really wanted to make sure that you could connect with all of us and get a general idea of what we do have to offer. But for more in-depth information, that will be made available this afternoon in the resource fair. And we will work on getting this recording uploaded into our website. Okay, so I think we have gone through all the questions that were asked. I want to go ahead and make sure that I'm not missing any questions. Again, I'm not a webinar expert. We've kind of have grown to maneuver the minutia of Zoom, which I'm sure you all have as well. Okay. So without further ado, I do want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us this morning. We really do appreciate you being here. And again, we do want to emphasize that we do want you to be successful, whether or not you come to CSUMB. We really want to emphasize the fact that, college is an opportunity for everyone. So please do apply and keep your options open. However, of course, we'd love to have you here at CSUMB. In addition, you can always visit our CSP website for more information by typing CSP or college support programs into the search option on the CSUMB website. So you can find all our programs there collectively, or our programs all do have individual websites. We hope you're again able to join us this afternoon for the resource fair, where our programs will be highlighting and presenting and sharing information, but we also do have an amazing group of individuals and additional resources here at CSUMB that we do want you to take advantage of. So I want to again thank our presenters, wish you all a great rest of your day. And again, information will be posted on our CSP website. So thank you, everyone.